Welcome back folks, my name is LastKnownMeal and today we're gonna be talking about Cyberpunk 2077 patch 1.6. It's honestly been a while since we had a last patch and all of this time we're just waiting to see what is going to happen, but yesterday obviously CDPR rolled out the patch itself as well as some very cool information including the expansion itself that we're gonna be talking about. So without further wasting your time, let's get into the video. So yesterday CDPR had two streams. The first one was about Cyberpunk Edgerunners and the future of Cyberpunk 2077, where they even had Gabe Amenangelo, the game director for Cyberpunk itself, and he talked more about the future updates and content. So first off, this is the last patch for old gen consoles, meaning that PlayStation 4, Pro, Slim, whatever, and also Xbox One S and X will no longer receive any updates. The updates are now only coming out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and also PC itself, obviously. So besides that, they also talked about some future features that they're going to implement, which I actually thought they were going to be a part of this update, but they are confirmed for later update itself. And that's first off, shooting from vehicles and vehicle combat, as well as actually rethinking the wanted system itself to make it more better than it is right now, which is something that people have been requesting a lot, and especially having a good wanted system in this game is definitely a plus. Now I do wonder, when is this update coming out? Probably somewhere closer to the release of the expansion itself, because right now this is going to be the last major patch until the expansion itself drops sometimes in the first quarter of 2023, unless Phantom Liberty, the new expansion for Cyberpunk, is not delayed further on. Now when it comes to the expansion itself, so Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty is going to be the first and only expansion for Cyberpunk 2077. I already talked about this before, but CDPR just doesn't want to continue to support it, mostly because probably Red Engine is causing huge issues and just doing this wasn't really something that management wants to do. So sadly, we're only getting one expansion, which I do hope is going to be a big one, but judging from the trailer and everything we have seen, it does seem that we are going to be an agent for the new United States government. Now do keep in mind that even though Night City is a free corporate city, a huge part of the United States, or well, the American continent, is still under the jurisdiction of the federal government, or if you want to go, under the president herself, which also does revolve all of the other federal agency that you got used to. So there is going to be a lot of mystery here, and I do wonder, what do they actually want from us? But of course, when it comes to the expansion itself, I'm going to make a separate video which is going to be longer, where we're going to cover the lore and everything else. They also released an arcade game, Roach, which is now available if you have it on your phone basically, and in the game itself. So yes, now if you do approach the actual arcade machine, you can play the Roach Race, which is actually a very fun game. Nothing too crazy, but it's honestly something which you kind of expect from the arcade, and something that I'm glad they added, because it should have been there from the start, but never too late. Now when it comes to other major features of patch 1.6, we do have a few things. First off, we have wardrobe or transmog. So right now, even though you have like different clothing equipped, you can go into your apartment and change the wardrobe, even having presets that you can use later on. That means that whatever you choose is going to be the skin which is going to be applied on top of the outfit you're wearing right now. So your stats are going to stay the same, but the actual look of the character is going to change depending on your choices. This was a highly requested feature, and I'm glad CDPR added it, and it's working really well. I mean, this is the new look that I have right now, especially with the jacket itself. We also have 3 new gigs which were added. Those are the Concrete Cage Trap, Desperate Measures, and Nasty Hangover. So once you go into Cyberpunk 2077 right now and you wait a little bit, maybe a few hours in game, obviously there is going to be a call, and you're gonna have all of the new gigs available to you that you can play through. With this, obviously, we also have David Martinez's jacket from the Edgerunners itself, so you can equip it, and it's actually quite cool. So I'm rocking it right now, and the quest around it is actually quite interesting. I mean, don't expect anything huge here, but what they showed was a nice little teaser for the anime itself. Especially because, as I said, they're 100% canon, so everything which happens in the anime itself is canon to Cyberpunk 2077 and its universe. Even the city, as we already know, is going to be a carbon copy, so the locations that you see in anime are going to be something you do recognize from the game itself. We also have 6 new firearms that some were actually already a part of some hidden files that I made a video around like long time ago. So some of those weapons are Kappa, the smart pistol, Senok, Elix, the tech submachine gun, hypercritical iconic precision rifle, which is kinda cool and it shoots really well, but you need actually to have some strength, like 15, to fully unlock the potential of the weapon. You have VST-37, which is the power shotgun, MA-70HB, the power light machine gun, and QB, the power assault rifle I'm rocking right now because it's really good. And also 5 new melee weapons, including the neurotoxin knife, plus iconic variant, Blue Fang, which you can get, Punk knife, plus obviously the iconic variant, the Headhunter, Claw, which is an axe, Razor, the machete, and Cut-O-Matic, the chainsword, which is, you know, quite cool. They also enabled cross progression, so if you are on your console right now or if you're playing on PC, you have different versions of the game. Everything that you have saved on is going to be uploaded to the cloud itself, so all of the progression you have on one system is going to go to a different system. This is really cool for me, honestly, because sometimes I just want to relax a little bit and play on my PlayStation, you know, some Cyberpunk, but the problem was there was no like cross progression, so I have to start a new character. But right now I can load up my PlayStation 5, play there, and then just continue off where I left off on my PC. This is very nice and I'm glad they added this feature. And also we have a small little thing, we have Nibbles in the photo mode right now. So basically right now you can actually choose the pose and have Nibbles visible in the photo itself. Next thing, which actually caught me by surprise because they haven't mentioned it, was RedMod. So CDPR was working closely with the Volvin Kit modding group, which is kind of responsible for most of the mods that you actually see on Nexus and basically for Cyberpunk itself. And also they have tools which they created so that people can kinda, you know, work on those mods. But keep in mind, those tools were definitely, you know, needing some more just how would I say, more support and maybe, you know, CD Projekt Red to make them even broader and better, which is something they did. So in collaboration they created the RedMod, which is going to enable people to have a lot better mods and to also have easier ways of creating mods for the game. This will extend the longevity and the life cycle of the game by a lot, because right now you're gonna have a lot more people create mods, and people who know how to make mods are going to have better tools at their disposal to do those things. And I mean, this is definitely something I'm going to be getting into, and this is a huge plus for Cyberpunk, which is something I talked about before, because this game just needs proper modding tools, because the community around it is amazing. What people have been creating so far was insane, and honestly I'm really happy that we have people in the modding community which are creating those cool mods. Now of course, when it comes to other smaller changes, there is a lot that we have to go through in some later videos, because this is mostly related to gigs themselves, you know, smaller things which were happening around it, and also fixed some achievements. So right now, if you were not able to, you can 100% this game. Also, another cool thing is that you can change the neon rims on the bike, and it comes actually in different colors, so that's quite cool. You can, you know, play around with it. And this was also a mod that I covered a while back, but I'm glad that it actually is in the game itself. And of course, as they always do, they added new hairstyles into the game you can actually choose. And also, going to the Ripper Dock right now, you can change your appearance and add a lot of new things to your character which were not available before, which I think is nice. When it comes to frame rate, when it comes to the actual stability of the game, so I tried this on 3070 Ti on my PC, and it's running a little better than it did before, because a few times before on like 1.52 I had issues where some pockets of like Night City itself were kind of dropping my frame rate. Right now those things are a lot smoother and better. Now I don't know if this is maybe just me, you know, going through different areas, but I visited those same areas I did before and the frame rate was actually a lot better. So I do firmly believe that the frame rate right now on PC is improved, and the stability of the game has also improved a lot, obviously with the usual bug fixes they presented in the patch itself. And also when it comes to PlayStation, something that I tried, I mean, even to like with patch 1.5 the game was running really well on, you know, PlayStation 5, but with this update I think it's also running a little bit smoother than it did before. But of course, do not expect miracles, because, you know, so far this is like what the game is about. And when it comes to like density of the city, like it kind of stayed the same depending on which, you know, settings you have. But of course, what I noticed is that there are a lot of less pop-ins, especially when it comes to LODs, and also when it comes to just different NPCs around us, because I haven't seen any people just spawning next to me, so I think on that edge this was fixed. Of course, there are some things which haven't been added, and something that was kind of a disappointment, and that's New Game Plus. So implementing New Game Plus is not an easy thing to do, obviously, but in the future I do hope they rethink it, or maybe they give us that, because I think it would be cool. But at the same time, if it's not happening, it's not happening. We also did have Miles Tost, who talked more about, you know, New Game Plus and why it takes a lot of time to do something like that, which is, you know, hopefully one day in the future. But is it a bummer? Definitely yes, if you ask me. And also because CDPR is cutting ties with old gen, which also includes the expansion itself. So the expansion Phantom Liberty is only coming out for PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. It's not gonna be coming out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, which is a little bit sad, but at the same time, look, having those consoles run Red Engine and Cyberpunk is a miracle at the same time. Was it a mistake they've done it that way? Definitely yes, but it is what it is now. At least for some it's a win, for some it's a loss. At least now they can focus more on updating the game properly, and they're gonna have more time to work on those features, because they don't have to optimize well the game for old gen consoles, which I'm sure, like, just tell me down below what do you think about it, and we'll talk more about it later. I mean, I'm kind of split. At one, you know, on one side I do understand why those things are happening and why it's being cut. On the other side, I'm kind of sad that people who have old gen won't be able to play it. Simple as that. But also, for example, when it comes to consoles themselves, so Xbox Series S also added a new performance mode, which is enabled in settings, and basically what they do is give you 60 frames in 900p resolution. So it's going to be a dynamic resolution scaling, going from 800p to 1080p, depending on where you are on the map itself, and if there is a lot of assets around you that the game, or well, the console has to load in. I mean, it's fine, considering Series S is quite good. I mean, it's not as strong as Series X, but at the same time, it's actually nice that they implemented this as well, because this is something that people have been requesting a lot. And this is everything for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll have more videos where I'm going to explain the expansion itself. We're going to analyze everything, and also at the same time, I was on vacation, so I wasn't able to stream it, but I'll make it up to you, don't worry. Thank you so much for watching. I'm definitely enjoying 1.6 so far, and honestly, I'm looking forward to see what they have for us in the store for the future. It does seem that Gabe Ementangelo is doing a really nice job as a game director, so again, they promise some things. We'll see if they're gonna be happening in the end, but it seems they're a lot more decisive than before. That also like means, you know, cutting out old gen and only doing one expansion, because they know if they dedicate more time to it, that's going to, you know, just take a lot of time. But is it a bummer we're not getting more expansions? Definitely yes, but let's wait and see how big and how good this one is going to be. If it's as good as Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, I won't have a problem with it. Simple as that. But the story itself is definitely intriguing. So as I said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Discord, and if you enjoyed this video, smash that like and subscribe button for more. And also huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters, and if you want to support the channel in an extra way, I do have a Patreon page you can check out. And that's it. This is LKM signing out. Stay classy everyone, and I'll see you very soon.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go.